Oh, I
comical,
love
but it's a
that.
learning curve of an experience, you know? And
Hmm.
the third question is, what kind of person should not be trying to access 100K funding yet, even if they technically qualify for it? Because I know that you help a lot of clients, a lot of people trying to qualify for like six figures.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. No, it's a very good question. If you don't have discipline with your money, do not try to get funding because here's the thing. You're gonna get this money in your head. You're gonna think it's free money or you have such a long time to pay it back because it's a huge number. But trust me, this is money you can run out of in a very fast amount of time. So the person that doesn't have a money discipline is the person that should not be getting the funding. Because let's say, some people argue, they say like, well, what would I need 100K for if I don't even need like have a business idea? Remember, I'm an example of that, right? I took the time to build out my credit file and had access to over 100K before I even started my business, but I had that discipline. So me having 100, 200K available in credit lines never made me, snap of like, oh, this is free money because I had that discipline. So if you don't have discipline, 100K in somebody's hands is going to feel like they just got rich. Let's blow it on stuff. And this is how you get yourself into a hole. So if your money discipline is not there, this is not for you.
What do you think helped with your discipline? Do you think it was your dad because of his entrepreneurial spirit? Could it be your economics teacher?
Yeah, so I think for me, honestly, like my household was very like get good grades. It was, work hard, save your money. My dad just never giving up. I think that all had to play a part in it. I think the biggest thing that just stands out to me though is I'm very like I want the numbers to be perfect. I want to max out every stat that I can, and knowing that credit was always in my control. I always made sure that no matter what is going on, I'm gonna make that payment. I'm gonna find a way to make that payment. So I think that's what built that hard discipline because I never wanted to have a low credit score. I always wanted to have as high of a score as I could. So I think that was kind of what built those great habits, I guess.
And you having the knowledge, especially when it comes to credit, you having the knowledge that you do, there's so many tax benefits behind it as well. Because you're not utilizing your own you're not utilizing cash. It's a completely different the IRS looks at it differently, which is
Hmm.
like smart.
Exactly.
The next question is when you help someone get funded, what matters more to you? The amount they receive or what they actually do with the opportunity afterward? I love this question.
Yeah, I think it's the opportunity, right? Because if somebody has good credit, I can easily get them some money, but it's just like, well, how is this money going to benefit you? So what I take pride in, what really makes me happy is just a smile on my client's face when they say, "Hey, I got the money, I can launch the business now." About 3 weeks ago, I actually had a client. He has a solar panel washing business, and he's been operating out of his Mustang, right? He's getting more tenured in his business. He's growing. He's like, bro, I want to buy a van. He just didn't want to put the funds up. So I got him the funding for the van. He was super happy. You saw him taking pictures with his family, posting it on the Instagram. So that's the type of stuff that I like. I was able to
That's cool.
directly impact his life. Even right now, I'm dealing with a client. She has an Airbnb business, so we're getting her the funds. That way, as she's securing these new leases, she has the money to furnish everything and just launch quickly. So just being able to get the money and seeing the client put that money to work so it can benefit them, that's what is more important to me.
What is a financial habit that quietly destroys people's future, but nobody talks about it because it looks normal?
That's a good one. I want to say not tracking your expenses. So there's a lot of people, I'll ask them, hey, what are your expenses at the end of the month? And they don't know. The reason why that's not good is because if you don't know how much it takes to operate, you don't know if what you're pulling in is enough to support that and build, some wealth, or if you're negative every month. And you don't want to be negative every month because, that's how things fail. So I think it's normal for people to just buy something here, buy something there, buy something here, not really think about it. But really, we should be tracking. If you don't want to get super granular, then at least track track what you know you're gonna buy at any given time. I understand if, maybe you go on a little vacation or you're out somewhere and maybe purchase some water or something random at a gas station. Maybe that you don't have to track at the level, but at least track your monthly expenses that you know you have to pay no matter what. That way you have a ballpark idea of what it costs to live your life, and then from there assess what your income is if you need to hire it or if you're in a green zone. But I think that's what kills a lot of people, that they don't track their stuff.
What is one piece of advice? You don't have to go full in depth on it if you don't want to, but what is one piece of advice to keep track of their spending? Like what's going in and what's going out.
Yeah, exactly. So like what I like to do, I have a notepad. So I have my expenses for my business, for my personal life, and then let's talk about personal life, right? So in terms of personal life, I break it down like how much is mortgage payment, how much is rent payment, how much is usually utilities coming out to every single month. That can vary. So for stuff like that, I add like an extra 100 just to like compensate. But we're talking so house payment, utility payment, then we're talking, internet bills. We're talking phone bills. Remember the necessities that we need to operate. We're talking about groceries. How much do we spend on groceries on average every month? If you have a water delivery service, how much are you spending on water delivery every month? Toiletries, just what you need to operate. Put that in a spreadsheet or in your notes, and then that way categorize. This is my personal expenses. And then if you're a business owner, this is where you can categorize again, right? If you have a marketing department, how much are you paying them every month? If you're running ads, how much are you paying that every month? Your employees, how much are you paying them? So once you have numbers though, you're able to track everything and know, okay, this month I made X amount, I'm in the green. This month I didn't make X amount, I'm in the negative. And then this is where we can be aware of what we need to do. Because if we're not aware, then we're literally leaving things up to fate, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah. You definitely like knowing where your money is going is one thing when it's in your head, but when you actually put it down on paper and see it, it's completely different. And then that's when you become
Mhm.
aware and you're like, okay, you know what? I didn't know I'm spending X amount on subscriptions or I'm spending this
Yeah.
much on going out or whatever. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
it's it's a huge benefit. That's why I wanted to get your advice on that or your input on that. Six is what is the most dangerous mindset someone can have after they finally get access to money?
Uh, the most dangerous mindset after they get some money is what can I spend it on? So, and the reason I say that is because I think if you're asking yourself, what can I spend it on? You didn't do the planning before you got funding. So that tells me that you probably didn't have a plan first off. Because if you know what you need money for, once you got the money, it's like, okay, I'm gonna spend the money right there. But if you just got the money, you're like, okay, what do I do now? That's obviously, not, that's a red flag. However, if you're somebody that got access to money, you're disciplined, you know you're not going to spend it on unnecessary things, you truly don't know how to, double it or triple it. This is where mentorship, this is where learning a skill, this is where that makes sense. You can put that money to work, investing into a mentor, into a coach. They teach you a business, and then as you're learning, you start executing on the information, making your money back, and then paying off that investment you made. So that'd be my answer to that.